This is the I Can Do Anything podcast, and I'm joined today by Rob Blake.
It's a dope title.
We get to be ourselves today. Isn't that interesting?
For the first time ever. Rob Blake, how you doing? What's up, everybody? How many of these did we do not as us?
I don't know, like 50 some or something like that, and then like maybe another 20 that we're trying to figure out the audio at the beginning.
I was like saying some nonsense about how I'm just louder than you are or something. You remember that?
Well, that's the problem is that that's true.
Yeah.
So it sounded like reasonable.
That's why it made some sense, because it's factual.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about today?
I don't know, man. It's been kind of a while, and I mean the shit is kind of crazy. 2020, everybody's talking about more fucking lockdowns and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, there's plenty to talk about.
Then part of me sort of doesn't want to talk about any of that.
No,
either, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. It's
just like
it's
they're
almost
just
not
pumping
worth
it
talking
directly
about.
into our veins every day on the TV, and then you got people that are shouting about how masks don't work, and the government's, because pretty soon the government's going to come to your house and say, "Hey, I just want to look around. Can I just look around? Take away our rights." I don't know. It starts getting crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, it's a fake virus. And then there's a bunch of people who are taking it way too serious, too. You know, like there's like extremes on both sides of people still wiping down their groceries and shit with fucking.
How long did you wipe down your groceries?
I didn't wipe down no groceries.
We did it for, how long do you think we did it for? A month and a half? 2 months?
Hell yeah.
That shit was stupid as fuck. It was me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just getting crazy. Like some people, you know, just, and then what are you doing? Maybe it was a good idea to start. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. And that's the other thing, is everyone's like, they're saying one thing and then later they're saying this other thing, but it's like nobody really knows anything. We're in the middle of it, you know. And I don't know. It just everybody starts getting crazy.
I haven't done a podcast in a long time. The last one that we probably did was 2 or 3 months ago, because it got to the point where like, yeah, I just don't care to comment on stuff. There's just it goes back to our original thing. It's like there's way too many fucking people.
Too many people. Talked about that a bunch.
So
too many people. What are you doing? Everybody's shouting at each other. Now we have the
there's
internet.
Way too many people.
Dude, you ever just read? I still do this thing where like I'll just be on Instagram and I'll see some picture and I just read the comments. You know, and then you just like, it's just a bunch of people saying a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's a
Some
sea
people
of
know,
nonsense.
but they don't know it's really stupid. It's really, really stupid.
And everybody's just repeating the thing they heard that morning, like they came up with it, you know? It's like, I don't know, it just starts getting crazy.
I mostly talk about basketball on this, but it's called the I Can Do Anything podcast, so I can just do whatever.
Yeah,
because
hell yeah.
You can just do whatever. And I just stopped even wanting to talk about basketball, because I was like, this shit doesn't matter. Why? There's already a bunch of people saying a bunch of random shit with no facts or anything.
Yeah, just out here spouting off.
Just saying a bunch of stupid shit that they don't actually know. And making up theories and coming up with hot takes. It's all really fucking stupid.
It's really crazy, yeah. And you just sit around and brew about it, too. Like, you just sit in your room, in your bed, and you think about that conversation you had with that guy online you'll never see again, or maybe never interact again. Yeah, depending on how hard you went in the comments section.
I used to like argue with people about LeBron versus Jordan, or like LeBron again, you know, like just stupid basketball arguments. It's like, this shit is done. Why? This doesn't matter. Yeah. Why am I doing this? I don't know these people.
I think recreational conversations with your friends like that in person are definitely
awesome,
fun to take
so
part
much
in.
Fun.
But then when you're on the internet, you're just, you know, I don't know. It's a different tone, you know.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Communicating via text is a really horrible way to communicate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with stand-up? You're back in Fort Wayne now.
Well, I'm only doing sets once a week right now. And
how much are you working for your parents?
Every day, 8 hours a day.
Are you okay? So you're like back on salary and shit?
No.
No.
I'm hourly.
Okay.
And I'm only like manual labor. I'm only
nice.
literally assembling cabinets.
Yeah, you got bumped down to the bottom of the food chain.
And I wanted that. I told him, I was like, listen, because they need some help. Obviously, it's a really interesting time right now to hire people. And
fuck yeah, dude.
A bunch of people that you are hiring are like claiming to get COVID, and whether or not they actually have it, you can't ask them for proof. And I'm not saying that there's people that are saying that they don't have it, but like, there's all sorts of interesting things that come with hiring a person that's not your kid. You know what I mean? So they were just like, hey, can you come down and help us out as like an extra guy?
That's
So
kind
I
of what
just
you
sort of
talked about
float.
doing.
Yeah, I
you
just
know,
sort of
like,
float around down there. It's cool.
because it gives you more time to do stand-up stuff. You can work
Yeah, and I can write at
hourly.
night or be creative in
Well,
the evening or whatever. And
Yeah, you talked about like, you know, like stocking fridges and places, like working at a warehouse where you could just listen to, you know, books on tape or music or podcasts or whatever, and just like do mindless work to make some money to be able to do stand up. And
yeah,
like,
just get a little cash flow coming in. And like, I don't know, there's something about accomplishing tasks during the day that's like sort of a necessity, I think. So it's nice to have that again too.
like for our hierarchy of needs.
Yeah,
like,
and your reward system,
yeah,
and just like
yeah.
I've been listening to this really interesting book called The Motivation Myth, and it's about how action precedes motivation. It's not that motivation precedes action. So like you do things, then you feel motivated to do more things.
Yeah.
Then you do more things, and because you're doing more things, you feel more motivated to do more things. But it starts with the action, like it starts with completing tasks and doing shit. So it's kind of nice to have that, and then someone's telling me to do it, so I don't have to like come up with the task to do.
Yeah, because when the teacher doesn't give you any guidelines for the project, it's like, oh wow, what do I?
Right.
If there's no like, structure,
So it's kind of nice.
it's really difficult to. Okay, what am I gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being a leader is a really like overlooked, underrated thing. Like being a leader is not easy.
No.
And making up the like setting the goals and achieving the goals and like setting
it sort
goals
of depends
along
on
the
the
way
culture
to the
too,
goals.
you know. It depends on the culture too. Like, do you fit in with the people, with the established culture that's there, especially with it being a family business? It's just a little easier.
Yeah, that's true, especially because it's a small business.
In that particular environment, for me to just go in and like, because I'm the youngest kid too.
How many
you know
people between the three do you guys employ?
Oh man,
Is it like a lot?
Yeah. Well, we have these little vendors too. So
like more than 50,000 people?
no,
more than 10?
No.
Oh,
it's like a couple,
5.
like a couple hundred.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like maybe a total of like
Oh, okay. That's not as many as I thought.
350, maybe total people are involved.
Okay.
Right now, it's less than that. At the peak, maybe there was like close to 350, but a lot of those people are like vendors. So we use like it's like the concept of cluster manufacturing, because the area is heavily Amish, like a big Amish community there. And a lot of the Amish have like metalworking businesses or like cabinet working businesses like already. So we just job stuff out to them, and they like hire their nephew or whatever to come in and help them build these, boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we don't have any overhead and stuff, so we just kind of job stuff out.
Yeah.
And then we have more robotics and stuff now, so it's like a cutting center more than
I saw
an assembly plant.
Do you have more robotics than just the thing that carries the
little
shit
robots?
across? Yeah. What does that thing do? It carries pallets around?
Yeah, there's a little stand that the stuff you put on it comes off rollers, and then that little guy rolls underneath the rollers and lifts up and grabs it and transports the wood from the back of the machines where they cut to the front of the building where they ship them. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool business, man. I'm really fortunate to just be able to come back in any capacity, really.
Yeah.
Especially in the way that I left. But if it weren't for COVID, I wouldn't even be home. So
yeah.
It's sort of a catch-22 where it's like I'm not just going to sit in my parents' house all day where I'm living right now while my dad and brother go to work and just keep eating the food.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's sort of just kind of a circumstance of my environment at the moment, but
you're only doing stand-up once a week-ish?
Yeah. I'm doing some other creative stuff, so I have a pretty crazy schedule right now. I get up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
I'm usually working out between 4:30 and 4:45, and then I don't go to work. I don't leave for work until 7:15.
Yeah.
So I get up in the morning, and I get all that stuff out of the way, and I go to work. And then I get home by like usually between 3:45 and 4:15, and then by 6 o'clock, I'm usually like being creative, like writing or something.
Yeah.
Either trying to write more jokes or trying to do some short story or other creative writing. And then I'm asleep by 9 every night. I've been doing that for like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. It's been pretty dope.
So when you're doing creative writing, are you writing skits? Are you writing like bits and like, I know that you're writing for your stand-up material, but are you also doing
sort of
like
50-50.
short story stuff?
Yeah, so I try to do a lot of like bit work and try to like find funny stuff to write. But I do like what I did in college with the short story stuff. So I've been kind of messing around with that a little bit
Yeah,
more
and,
too.
but
the
what do
fiction
you like?
writing and-
The short stories that you've been doing, like the spoken word and stuff. What do you like envision for those kind of things? Do you like storyboard them like a video, or like, or do you ever? That's how my brain works.
That's a good question.
Anything that I do like creatively, I always think about how it could be a visual piece too, because what I do is so visual.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's always how I learned best, and it's part of why I do what I do now. And I feel like a lot of that shit would be really awesome, especially like the way that you're telling different stories. You can like put all of that into, I don't know, you can make like little 40, like if one's 45 seconds, I feel like that would be like a cool piece of programming on a future, like, YouTube is the future for stand-up comedy, and I think if you've got to you have to do the Andrew Schultz model now. The YouTube comedy is where you can just blow the fuck up if you want, like, if you really go after it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like doing like a weekly spoken word, or like a weekly short story that you like conceptualize into a video. That's the kind of shit that I would love, and I just don't have enough capital behind me yet to like be able to do my own shit and like I would love to I really want to start my own production company so that I could like work with people like you, just because it's easy to say, oh yeah, I wish that I was financially stable enough to just do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I mean, who wouldn't want that? I always think like that. I'm always thinking like how amazing it would be if this, and then people will go, yeah, who the fuck wouldn't want that? You know, like who doesn't want a big, nice fucking house that they could just hang out in and not do shit and just play Rift, play the Oculus all day long.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I haven't really been messing around with too much of the spoken word stuff recently.
Oh, okay. What do you mean by short stories?
So then? I've been doing like I'm trying to write sort of like a book.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a Harry Potter meets Maze Runner, the one I'm working on right now. And then there's another one that's sort of like A Knight's Tale. You ever seen the movie A Knight's Tale?
I think
it's
I
like
have.
the classic hero's journey type
A Knight's
movie.
Tale. That's the
follows the formula. Like there's like a lady, and there's like he's got like an antagonist, and there's like there's like a call to action. It's like the perfect percentages of the amount of time.
I think I'm thinking of A Christmas Bride.
Yeah, Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, and is
that where they joust?
Yeah. And at the beginning, they're like, their night guy's dead. And they're like, whatever, we're just going to pretend to be a knight because we're starving. And then.
Is that the one where they cut the guy's arm off and then it like sprays blood?
I don't know, man. I don't know if he gets arm cut off. I know that they undislocated his elbow or maybe his shoulder in this weird little stretcher device. You ever seen that?
I don't know. Maybe weird. I've not seen all of it. I feel
it's
like
on
I
Netflix
saw it
now.
So long ago.
It's on Netflix.
That's an old movie, right?
Yeah.
Like really,
yes.
More than 25 years old. Something like that.
25, but it's not. It ain't new.
Will you look that up, Mrs. Google over there?
It ain't new. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. It certainly is not new.
So you were in a wood chipper.
Oh yeah.
The other day. Do you have any? Are you getting like good bits from work?
A bunch of people have asked me that because, of course, my brother and everybody at work has told everybody that I do stand up. But
yeah.
I don't.
So everybody's just trying to get you to be funny all the time.
It's
hey,
so
you
weird.
Working on bits?
Yeah, it's so weird. And then they want me to tell them one, and jokes. It doesn't really work like that. And then everyone's just looking at me, and so I quit doing that. I don't even entertain it anymore.
Oh yeah, no.
But I'm kind of not in that mode at work.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like looking for bits at work, just because like, even though I am just like for the most part like catching parts or like feeding shit through a machine. Like it ain't like it used to be where you just like grab you don't grab like a hand router anymore and like route pieces. Like we have machinery that does all that now. Oh. So there is a little bit of like, I have to like know which button to press, and like I have to keep track of like which cut order goes with which like the material comes, and then you got to know which pieces, because some of the pieces are varying in sizes and they come per like cabinet or per assembly. And you can't fuck that up. You can't put banding on the wrong side. So it's not. There is a little bit of like kind of like paying attention to what's going on, and then you got to be able to service the machines too. Like there's things that can go wrong with like with if there's like banding that gets caught in a certain part, or if the robotic arm doesn't pick the piece up or whatever.
You
have to be able to service that, because if not, the machine's down for however long, and then you're losing money, because the whole point of the machines is to be able to cut the pieces. But if the machine's not cutting the pieces,
yeah.
then so there's a little bit of that goes with it, and I kind of try to turn a little of that off, like during the workday, and like I get after it. Like I would imagine that there's some people that work there that are not very happy that I'm working there right now, because I'm in there like I don't want to stand around and talk about it. I want to grab the shit and go, because we got shit to do.
Well, people are just trying to shoot the shit.
Well, some people like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to act like I'm like the perfect worker, but there's some people that like they want to come over when they're not even involved in what's going on, and like offer their suggestion about what to do in that thing, and it's like I don't have time for that. I already got my directive, so I just won't talk. Don't entertain those things sometimes. There's some people there who are like, this guy's a comic, like he's kind of like he doesn't really fuck around, like he's pretty much always working like on the job. Like if we're supposed to be screwing in angle iron, I'm not going to be screwing in angle iron and like asking you about your weightlifting program.
Yeah.
While I'm doing that, like, I'm shutting the fuck up and screwing in screws. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I find there's a lot of people too that like just kind of you can tell that like they want to they need a break or something. I don't know what it is. They just like want to stand there and talk with you.
Yeah, there's some people that are like that for sure.
And I got
I'm
trying to work, man. I got stuff going on.
Yeah, I have things to do, things to get done. I'll talk to you on break, maybe. You know what I mean?
Or
like,
probably not. Yeah.
If you have something to say to me, hopefully it's related to like the amount of glue that's going in this hole. You know what I mean? Like I got things to do. I don't know. My brother works there, and we were building these cabinets for Lululemon. And some stuff went down, and it was really interesting because we were like having these discussions, and it's always funny when like working with family members and stuff, and just like seeing them in that professional capacity, because we're all older now. And like the weird thing about working with my brother is that like I've known my brother my whole life, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I have this idea of him as like a person.
Yeah.
But when he's at work, he's like he's work Tom.
He's
he's like my work brother.
So yeah,
it's cool. And he's really like he's 31 now. And he's been working there since he was 18.
Yeah.
And sometimes I forget that. That's like a long time to have been working there.
Yeah, that's a really long time.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like really grown a lot, and like he's killing it. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And I just get to be there to help for as long as I want, indefinitely or whatever. Yeah. Which is a dope opportunity.
Yeah, it's really awesome to be able to fall back onto.
I'm really looking forward to this project you and I are going to do. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really fun. I need to get some content made, period.
And I need external creative endeavors.
Yeah. I need to get something on, and whether or not it ends up being this 20-minute special or not is sort of irrelevant.
Yeah,
whatever it turns into, it turns into.
But I don't think you need to shoot it with any kind of we'll just shoot some
I have a couple of different ideas. I think something that could be really cool is if we do a couple of different Tuesday nights, and we do different 5-minute segments, and then between
start putting stuff out.
Between there, I could do, if I want. So say I wanted to do something that's like 25 minutes or a half hour, or even just 20 minutes. I could do 3 5-minute segments of me doing stand up, and then between the sets there could be a minute like cold open sketch or whatever. I was talking about before, something like that, where it's like stand up sketch, stand up, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Or
interesting.
Chopping it up where it's just like a 5 minutes of a certain type of joke. That's the other thing I was thinking that could be cool about breaking it up onto Tuesdays. Because you could come and I could do a 5 minutes that's going to be totally different from another 5 minutes. And it would be cool to see like sort of a change in tone, like a change in outfit. It would be cool to like break it up like that too, I think. So
yeah,
a little bit more travel involved that way, and a little bit more risk as far as how many people are going to be there. I could advertise them still and stuff, but it would just depend on how often we did them and all that too.
Yeah, how many people are showing up to Wrigley on a...
Well, sometimes there's like 20. It's like kind of popping off right now compared to usual.
People in the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many open micers and all that shit?
Usually anywhere from 5 to 8. It's been the most recently.
It's kind of like what I was when I was there. Yeah.
There's been 2 or 3 shows where there's been 16 plus audience members. One time there was like close to 20.
How many were there when I was there?
Probably,
Whenever?
I don't know.
50?
I don't know how
40?
many. A few. That was when it wasn't as. Now that's a little bit more.
Yeah, they
there's
got a
more
lot more
people popping
restrictions
out,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But I think that's gonna be really cool, man. I'm excited about that, and I want to start doing some stuff for like Instagram and all that. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But the goal is to be funny, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to get away from and producing the content, like the seriousness and like the like I don't know. There's a time and place for social commentary, and you can be funny about it, I guess. But then you run the risk of like, I like my shit silly. Like I tell jokes about face tattoos and like decorative towels. Like
Yeah.
like, I'm not really interested in like any of that other stuff, especially right now with how crazy everything is. Like I feel like it's a good opportunity to provide something that's like just like a nonsense.
Not so serious.
Yeah, it's just like a place to come like laugh at the absurdity of this thought.
Yeah. Yeah. A bunch of the comics that I listen to, their podcasts, a lot of them are talking now about what it's going to be like with the new, like if there's a new presidency, if Joe Biden gets in office, and like how comedy is going to like shift to this, regardless probably of whoever is in office, actually, how it's going to like shift to a little more silly and give people what comedy, going to a comedy show is to not think about the world's problems,
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And I certainly like a lot of comics that talk about that kind of stuff, politics, and just give any kind of social
like a Trevor
commentary.
Noah, for example. Like I'm not trying to be Trevor Noah. I'm not trying to any capacity deal with that guy.
I don't really think Trevor Noah's that funny.
Yeah, I have no interest. He's like, some of those guys.
It's
like,
not even comedy anymore, man. Those guys on the left that are like doing what's it's like supposedly comedy about politics.
It's like social commentary.
It's really almost not even comedy.
It's pretty interesting.
Like it's not. It's really not. None of it's funny. Like Stephen Colbert is funny every once in a while, but he was like crying on TV.
Yeah,
dude. What like? Isn't your show a comedy show?
It's just getting crazy.
Yeah.
And I've been doing some new bits too, man. I've been writing some new shit. It's really cool to see like.
I'm excited to hear what you've come up with in the last year and a half. I haven't heard you do comedy in a little bit.
Yeah, that's the other thing with these 5 minutes too. That would be nice is that then I can run a 5 minutes and get it real tight.
Yeah.
And then we go do a 5 minutes. It's not a 20-minute straight shot through.
Yeah, you don't need the full. It doesn't matter anymore to be a full thing or like. Fuck a special. Just put out cool stuff, right?
Yeah. And I think even with the title, I want it to be Rob Blake. Sometimes I say things. Yeah. I think even with that title, it's cool to have it like 3 different outfits, like 3 different sets. Yeah. It's like sometimes I say things, like it sort of goes with that, where it's like multiple times that I said some things,
Yeah. Hey, the thing's done.
Oh, nice. You guys want to get that rolling?
Yeah.
Here, I'll get you set up.
So Rob brought over his. Tell me what this thing is fucking called again. The Oculus. It's a Rift.
It's a Rift now, essentially.
Because you have the headset and the big fucking PC.
Yeah, you didn't even get to be in the house.
And we got the game star Beadie, who's gonna play some. What is it? Vader Immortal.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It is my time to shine.
Are you really excited to play video games? I feel like we haven't in a long time.
The answer is yes.
So within this game, you can do the story mode, or you can do like the
Dojo.
The dojo. Yeah, take her to the dojo to start.
You got to touch those, so you can touch those deals. You can just touch that like it's a board and push that one of them buttons in. You're gonna love this. This is dope.
Be careful of the. Is it just the right hand?
Yeah, grasp it. There you go. And then the trigger will turn that on.
Is it just her right hand, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't worry
There's
about.
no blasters or anything in this one. It's just the first game.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 separate.
I was
versions.
worried about her left arm sweeping that cord.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Dude, these graphics are dope. This is way better than just on the Oculus. Dude, this is going to be one of the greatest purchases that I've ever made ever is this cyber-powered PC from Best Buy. In case anybody out there listening wants one, you can get them at Best Buy. Got to talk to Jim.
That's what that thing is. It's just a PC. It's got nothing to do with
Cyber-power, man. I bought that shit. Well, it's a gaming PC.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but the headset will work with any gaming PC as long as you have the right kind of graphics card and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. I got a Ryzen processor or CPU or whatever the fuck in that bitch. It's liquid cooled, the CPU.
Yeah, that thing's pretty slick, man. Can you
Behind, oh yeah, you got to block them. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so those thingies are gonna come at you, and you gotta like hit them with your lightsaber.
Yeah, or you got to reflect the blaster thing back. Yeah. I saw a concert of Post Malone. I watched a Post Malone concert in that thing once.
Yeah. Yeah, when the watching the NBA games in there is really cool. I want her to see that too. You can go to the NBA app. Are you listening to me, or are you focused?
Who, me?
No, her.
Oh.
Hey.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it's okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
You just worry about
He was
what you're
talking
doing.
mad shit. I heard him.
I
He
was talking about the
mad shit.
NBA, but that shit doesn't matter right now. Because right now you're in a Star Wars galaxy.
Training to be a Jedi.
That thing's backward. Are we seeing a reflection of it? It looked like the words were backwards.
We
to
might
us.
be. We might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't really spent too much time looking at the TV version. It's kind of cool to watch it. To be
Yeah,
honest
it's
with you.
cool that we can see what she sees. That was a really.
Well, it makes you feel like you're part of the activity now.
Yeah,
at least, you
exactly.
know?
Yeah. You can like encourage them along, or like whatever, or talk shit. Like,
Well, the other thing too is like there's a couple of games that are really hard, like Red Matter is this
so
one
you
where
can
you're
try
on
to figure
Saturn.
it out
You can
together
have
and
your
stuff.
friend like looking shit up on the internet, telling you where you're supposed to be turning and stuff.
Yeah,
and help you solve puzzles.
yeah.
You know
For
what
the
I'm
like, what did you call it? The role player games.
yeah. The puzzle ones are the hardest, man. Red Matter, when you're on Saturn and you're like a spy, like a CIA agent or some shit, and you gotta like activate all these generators and shit, and there's like
So it makes you think. It's
yeah,
not
and they don't
just
tell
a
you how to do
stupid,
shit. They don't tell you how to do
unengaging video
nothing.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, there's like no go walk this direction. You just got to figure some shit out.
I'm done with the consoles, man. I'm sure they'll have some. PlayStation does have a VR thing, but it's not. The Oculus is so dope. It's so crazy what they've done with the wirelessness if you want it, plus the option to be able to plug into a high-powered gaming PC to be able to get better
And then-
graphics and cooler games, but also have the power to be able to go box if you want in your garage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the Oculus 2 is even better. It's lighter. The graphics are better without it being connected to a computer.
Uh-huh.
And it's a Rift, too. The Rift is pretty much kind of pointless to buy now. Why would you buy a Rift? For what?
When you can do both.
When
of
you
these.
could be able to get, well, you can get $300 headset that you can play games on without it being connected to anything for around 2 hours. And then if you have a PC with, apparently you have to have a special kind of cable for it to charge and be able to play on the computer because mine's not charging right now for whatever reason. But then you can play games on the PC as well, and some of them the same games with way better graphics, which is cool. But you can't play a 120 gigabyte game or whatever, like Asgard's Wrath is on a
So when you plug it
mobile
into
processor.
so like once this isn't a game that requires that. The game she's playing now, you have in the headset.
Well,
but it's advanced
both.
now because you downloaded
Right. Right. So there's
So
a Rift version that you can play if you're plugged in. But if you unplug the headset, you would be playing the same game, but it would be a way worse version.
Okay, so you can't like download it to the headset and then unplug it. You have to stay plugged in order for
in order for it to have cooler, like better shit.
So
Because you're using the computer's graphic card and stuff at that point. It's just
Yeah,
relaying the info to the headset.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the games that you can get now, you can't just get every game that's also on at PS5 and on Xbox.
No.
At what do you think it will ever get to that point, or like where
think
where the
they're all-
games will be universally available on, or the
No.
Rift is just always going to have its own games?
I think it'll be proprietary. And I think PlayStation will have their own VR games and stuff, but I think it'll be proprietary, and I think there'll always be a space for not VR gaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
mechanics and stuff are a lot different, and your availability for a non-VR game for storytelling and stuff is a lot better. You know what I mean? Like the things that they can do. Like you can't do a Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a damn near 70-hour just for the main story video game in VR right now. You can't do it.
Why? The computer has all the processing power.
Just the amount of time it would take to make, to build.
Oh, yeah,
the-
yeah,
You know,
okay,
and
yeah.
all, like, you got to do this. Like, the 30-hour RPG I have now at the Asgard's Wrath is, like, revolutionary. That's, like, a real big breakthrough. A 30-hour RPG.
That's the one she started playing at,
Yeah,
at the
and it was
beginning.
glitching out and being weird. But, yeah, that's pretty crazy. The Wizards, the second one that they came out with, is pretty crazy. Like, they're getting there.
And you're
That's why I'm
playing-
done with the consoles.
Is
Because I think
Assassin's Creed, that's what she has to be plugged in, or no?
No, that's just a regular old PC game. That's like an Xbox game. It's like a Ubisoft. That's third person. That's like a standard.
You use it on the Rift on the
No, you just play on like a monitor.
Oh, with a you have a controller, or you
No,
use a
keyboard mouse.
and mouse?
Yeah, it's like
okay.
ASDF, Shift,
Yeah,
Alt,
yeah.
R. You got to use all, and then your abilities are like the number keys. Dude, PC gaming is far superior to console gaming in my opinion, in almost every facet, in almost every way.
I find that I like to hold the controller, like actually hold it rather than pushing a button on a keyboard
Dude,
that's on.
I had a
But
little bit
I've
of time
also
adjusting.
I've never been into
Yeah.
to PC gaming.
I had a little bit of
really.
time adjusting, but now I like it better. I like it better because of the freedom within the game is better. Like the controls are more specific. You have a lot more options, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's a way it's a different experience, and it depends on the game you're playing too. I think. Like I don't think I'd want to play like a UFC or like a Mortal Kombat type game, like a fighter game like that on PC with a keyboard and mouse. If I was
Yeah,
going to play
yeah, that's what I'm
UFC, I think
saying,
I'd
yeah.
rather have a controller.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it has its like specific games that.
But
it's
if I'm
good
playing like
for.
the role playing game, I kind of liked it. And even with the Star Wars game, I liked the mouse a little better, just because like your abilities are the number pad now. You don't have to like click through a menu. Like in The Witcher, you had to use your bumper and go through this pinwheel, and you just on PC you just hit number 1 and it does that ability or whichever one you have it assigned to.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more flexibility as far as that's concerned. And a lot of games, there's more custom features on a PC too.
Yeah, I'm sure it gets more detailed.
Yeah.
The more buttons you have, obviously.
Yeah, with like the keyboarding
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, and then some of the mouses even have like a number pad on the side of the mouse.
Oh, okay.
Because like your hard button, like your quick attack is your main mouse button, your left mouse button. So if you wanted to do that and hit a 1, you could hit the 1 with whatever move that is for your character with your thumb right there on the mouse. So instead of having to use your left
okay.
hand. So if you're
Yeah.
moving around, you're like dodging a guy or whatever, you're hitting Alt and A
Yeah.
to try to dodge left. Then you could use your ability number 1 instead of having to use your left hand to reach up and hit the number 1 button. You could just hit it right on the mouse.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some really cool stuff like that for PC
Yeah.
gaming too.
Huh.
Yeah, I have that roller ball I showed you for the mouse. It's way better. It's way better, dude. With your thumb, there's so
Yeah.
much less movement required, and then there's a way there's a button on the side you can hit for like specific,
Like physically moving your hand.
yeah,
like,
it's
yeah.
way easier with you just move your thumb left or right.
Yeah,
It's way quicker. It's a lot more efficient, and it doesn't. There's like not as much like
carpal tunnel
yeah,
action.
yeah. It's
like
very nice.
you're not gonna need wrist surgery.
Mm.
And maybe it'll just be in your thumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the damage to the joint is more specific with this particular mouse.
What is that called? When your fingers are arthritic?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's gonna have in their thumbs
Tech
from
neck.
texting.
Tech neck too, they said.
Yeah.
But there's people that have been playing video games for 15 years. They don't have tech neck.
The thing
They're
I've
saying
always
that's how
thought
long
about
it takes to get tech neck. So that's where I get a little confused. In 15 years is what gamers are gonna look like. But there's people that have been playing They've been playing games for 15 years already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been playing games for 15 years. I don't
Well,
have
and
tech neck.
people have always been reading books.
Yeah.
You read books the same way you would read it.
That's a good point.
Look at your phone, right?
That's a
Like
good
most
point,
of the time,
man.
I'm not reading with my book up in front of me. Like I sit on a couch and look down at it.
You ever seen that thing that was like a picture of these people on a bus now and they're all on their phone and people are like, this is sad or whatever. And then there's another one next to it with a
guess.
bunch of people in like the 20s and they're all have their face down in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It's like they just happen to have like the
It's
newspaper is
just
better
different.
than the phone. I don't understand. They're both staring at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The phone's just better than that shitty paper. It can be more things.
for sure. Yeah, it might not be as great for your eyes.
It can
but-
be more things, man. And you can write things on it if you want. You can play video games. You can shoot birds at structures with angry pigs. There's pigs on. Well, the birds are the ones that are angry, but there's pigs on the structure. You can shoot birds at pigs on your phone if you want.
Catapult them.
There's full video games you can play on your phone right now. You could play You could play a.
Yeah, I played 2K.
Camp it. You
I
could
had
play whatever you
2K
want.
on
Yeah,
there, yeah.
it's crazy. Right on your cell phone if you want.
It's fucking weird, man.
You can play Fortnite on your cell phone if you want.
You said there's one game in this that's like Fortnite.
Yeah. I haven't downloaded it yet, but it's like
How's the dojo going?
like a battle royale. Yeah, you having a good time up there?
Do you enjoy the dojo?
The old Jedi-ness? I bet everything about this game is better like this. I bet the tracking's better. I know what I'm doing tonight. I was going to play Assassin's Creed, but I think I'm going to go and plug this thing in and maybe trying to be a Jedi again for a little bit instead. Although Assassin's Creed Valhalla is dope, dude. It might be better than The Witcher 3, which is crazy for me to say. I played that game twice.
See, I'm so out of touch. I don't even know what the fuck you would do in any of those games.
Dude, a bunch of
I don't
stuff you
know
can
anything about
loot,
Assassin's
you can
Creed.
raid, you can build your own settlement. There's a bunch of story arcs that go on. It's like the cutscenes are like movie scenes. It's like you're
Yeah.
watching a movie. It's
Yeah.
insane, dude. And then there's a secret society, and you got to go murder people, and you got to hide in the bushes.
Oh, wow, that sounds
and then
fun.
you get a whole bunch of ability points, and you can make your guy more badass. You can take your weapons to a blacksmith, and he'll
Yeah.
make your weapons cooler. You can add rune stones to them if you want. It's dope, dude. And then you got to eat food. You got to go forage for food and eat food, or else you can't heal. If you take a blade, if you get, which is still unrealistic, don't get me wrong. If you get stabbed in the stomach and eat some berries, your stomach's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
But that's how it works in the game.
Yeah.
Which, they're trying to do something that requires you to heal, that you don't just get to run away and heal. In the other games, as soon as you were out of combat, you just got all your health back.
Yeah.
But in this one,
gotta,
like if
go
you have
find
no
shit
health,
to
you got to go
bandage
find shit.
yourself up.
Yeah.
Can you perform surgery on yourself?
I wish.
Some wild shit like that.
I wish, but
cauterize a wound.
all you
from
gotta
a
do is eat
gunshot.
some berries. So far, I've only ate berries, and you can steal food from people's campfires, I guess. And there's some pots by campfires. You can play this game. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but you roll these dice. It's really cool, man. They roll these dice, and then the dice have certain symbols on them, like a shield or an arrow or an axe, and then some of them have like a helmet. And then depending on which dice you roll and you pick, and that guy's dice and he picks, those take away from these stones that you have, and that's like your health. So it's like sort of like a mini little battle that happens, and you play that in the game with people at all these different camps, and you can collect these different like god runes that give you special moves in that game. So there's like a game inside of the game that you can play.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's dope. Apparently, it takes like around 60 hours to beat the main story.
What person are you seeing it from? Is it are you like behind and over the person? Is
Yeah,
it
third person view.
Third person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Interesting.
it's sick, and the combat is awesome. You can behead people, you can chop off people's arms, you can shoot people.
She
in the
really
faces
likes
with
Mortal
arrows.
Kombat.
Ooh,
Is it
the
similar
arcade
to-
action.
No, I know it's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Little arcade
it's
game
like an
action,
arcade 2-player type of thing. Yeah.
Dude, I have a real good time with the RPGs. And there's a new Harry. So another reason I got this console is because there's a Harry Potter RPG coming out.
I'm sure there is.
Dude,
Oh, I saw it for
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, for PS5 too.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy. That's the whole reason I bought this console. That and the VR headset.
Yeah, you like the Harry Potter action.
Dude,
That's for sure.
I have a little bit of a problem.
That's not a problem.
I'm almost 30, and I've been to.
Do you want a new game?
Yeah, how's it going? Doing all right? Would you die or something?
I guess so. They made me go back to training, and I'm offended.
Oh man.
I'm excited when like GTA. Would GTA ever come to this, or like you said, is it too hard to
I
like
think it's
build
coming.
to like build that whole world?
I think it's coming, man. I think that the games are the technology is only getting better, and Facebook owns Oculus, so the
Yeah.
social capabilities like
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
Horizon that's coming out, it's going to be insane. You're going to be able to make like buildings and towns. You're going to be able to build objects.
So,
be able
like
to
Sims?
meet people. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's called Facebook
Fuck,
Horizon. It's
dude.
going to be nuts. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of crazy shit coming out, and then there's like
Wait, meet other real people that
Yeah.
are playing like
they
an
have
online
avatars,
thing?
yeah, and then whatever you do to the
Oh,
world, like
fuck.
actually changes in there. It's gonna be nuts. There's a thing called Facebook Venues right now that's sort of like that. You can hang out with your friends. You can do art and stuff. I haven't really messed with it yet, but yeah, dude, it's the social aspects too, like doing performances, entertainment, open mics, like even some version of stand up. Maybe
Holy
it's gonna
fuck!
be super
yeah,
possible.
wow. There's so many.
There's a lot of things that you could do as far as entertaining people right from your home.
I think about like what like playing online in 2K. Do you know about like the My Street version, or what? There's like the whole online world. Like the same way that when I was playing like Call of Duty online and Halo online. it's like that, but you just make your player in 2K, and then you like go to a place where everybody's hanging out, like a park, where everybody who's online is hanging out, and they're like waiting to get into a game, and then you can like pick player, like you just team up with your friends who are like at home doing the same thing.
And you're all just at that park
You play
together.
3-on-3 or 5-on-5 with a bunch of random other people that you don't know.
And it just happens right in that
Yeah,
arena.
in the arena, yeah. And I think
That's
about
cool.
that would be amazing for this.
Something similar to that right now called Rec Room.
Okay.
Where you can like play foosball and like you can shoot baskets and stuff. You can throw darts.
On the
It's
Oculus?
it's very kiddish right now. That particular game is there's a lot of like actual children. Like when you talk to them on the game, because you can talk to people through the mic, they're like actually kids. I'm a 30-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? Almost 30. I'm 30 in March. So that I don't really hang out in the Rec Room. You know what I'm saying? But they have some stuff like that that's coming. Town builders, I think, are going to be a really cool thing in VR. Like if you're into SimCity or
I loved Sims as a
City
kid,
Skylines or something. I've been playing a lot of The Sims 4. Did I tell you about that? I've been playing a lot of The Sims 4, and I actually play the game. I like actually have my guy get a job. I make tons of money. I'm a painter. I'm a writer. I'm an actor.
The PC?
Yeah, dude. I bought a bunch of expansions. I got downtown living.
I've watched like YouTube videos of people building houses and shit in there. You can get real complex.
Dude, the builders groups are nuts. I build more for the game and less for like realism. Like some people like really design the houses.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
what I do on an app that I have
Yeah.
now. So I'm excited for those kind of things. She's potentially about to get like kind of like she's about to start making some fucking money here, and I feel like we're gonna buy
Little VR
a
headset
PS
action. Little VR headset action.
especially if it's
Just
$300.
get you both. Just get you
dude.
both one. Just get you both the headset. You don't need to share it. That's ridiculous. Then you got to be wiping the face mask off, and all you don't want to be doing none of that.
Yeah.
You get yourself one. It's only $300. You sit yourself down, and you go to events together. You know what I'm saying? You hang out in your virtual house while you're in your real house. You guys you could have two homes. You don't got to pay a mortgage on one of them.
There you go. Yeah, you can have another house, and it's just inside.
That's
your
it. You can
actual house.
decorate it, and if you have a PC, now you got to get you a gaming PC too, though. So maybe just one headset to start, and then get the gaming PC, and then later.
Well, part of the so I mess with like designing houses all the time, and part of what I'm doing is trying to figure out how, because I can't move into a house that I didn't build next. Like the way that it just wouldn't make any sense. None of them are what I would want.
Yeah.
It's just never gonna work where you find something exactly with the specifications and shit that you want. Because
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like I'm getting really particular about it. I want to like build a place to where I never have to leave.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And part of it is workout facility room, not facility, but just like I was saying earlier, people are just going to start building like padded rooms where you got a bunch of space with, like when I look at houses, we've been looking at houses in Fort Wayne because she's working in Fort Wayne now and considering moving down there so we can be somewhere between our like my work here and make it so we both have to drive 20 minutes rather than me driving 10 and her driving like 45.
Yeah.
And all the houses that I look at, they're like these old, like traditional, like I don't know how to explain it, like architecturally, but they just look like those old rich people houses in like these golf course neighborhoods, and they're like full of workout equipment, just all this like big ass workout equipment, like machines and stuff. I feel like the new workout room just has nothing in it.
Yeah.
And you know, like a new workout room is just a bunch of empty space.
Dude, there's tons of like dope ass VR workout stuff that they do where you have to like
You
strike
don't need
poses
weights and stuff like that.
You know, you just like you could box
Yeah.
a guy if you want, and like they have these like that's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't need all that shit to push and pull around.
That's
like
funny.
you can just have a rack of dumbbells on the wall for a little extra weight and then just get cardio in a space fucking playing. You can box,
Yeah.
you know, or it's like wide open spaces with like stuff in the corners, like a heavy bag in the corner or something like that. You don't need to fill a fucking room with this dumbass equipment
Just
anymore.
couple kettlebells.
Yeah,
Just a couple kettlebells, maybe a mace.
a couple yoga mats.
You know, mace or two.
Yeah, it doesn't need to get crazy. Some medicine balls,
Speaking of getting crazy,
exercise ball.
in Hamilton we got that factory where we do the solar stuff at.
Yeah,
That's that gym that you were talking about where like you have a whole bunch of machines. That's what we have down there right now.
yeah.
My dad bought this shit from like old Curves. It's like
Yeah, that's all really old
It's
equipment.
like
yeah.
it's got like the like the stacks of weight on it. Remember back in the day when it was like he can do the whole stack.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like he did the stack. It's like really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's not functional
yeah,
strength.
yeah, It's like really not that big of a deal that he lifted the stack because like all the pulleys and all this shit. Like it's not that
Yeah.
it's light. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not that he's
But
not
when are
moving
you ever
any
gonna pick
weight.
something up like that?
But it's just really interesting. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have some of that. Sometimes I do a circuit on it with I like the leg stuff, like a leg extension, a leg curl.
Yeah, some of it has
I like
its
those.
purposes.
But I don't like really do like preacher
But
curls.
again, those things that you just mentioned are functional strength.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to push off
Yeah. I'm
with
really
both
about
of your
that.
feet, like
Yeah.
that's jumping
I like those.
or whatever.
Yeah. I like those with the leg extensions. But I don't really do like preacher curls. If I'm gonna do a curl, sometimes I do like a mace. I use like a mace, and I do like the
For some reason, I don't know what that
seven.
is.
like it's the long pole with the big ball on the end. It's
The
like maybe
long pole
it's like
with
a
the big
3 foot. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a 3 foot
oh,
metal
oh.
pole with a ball on the end, maybe 15 pounds. And then you do
Interesting.
swings with them and stuff around your head.
Huh.
You've seen videos and stuff.
I'm
of
sure
them
I
like that.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the rage right now. Those and those little hammers. Everyone's using the hammer. Have you seen the hammers?
No,
yeah,
I don't
everyone's
think
using
so.
Or maybe they're bats. Hammer's not the right word. It might be bat. And they're like
It's
these
like a
metal
weighted
bats.
hammer?
Yeah, and they're like, I don't know. I'll have to
I'd
show
be
it to
worried
you.
about fucking hitting myself with one of those things.
Yeah, I used to use weapons in karate sometimes, like size and stuff, and that was definitely a concern. That you would
Yeah.
like fucking clip your thigh or something
Yeah,
on a
no kidding.
downswing. Yeah.
Are you fighting people coming at you now? Did you
Oh
just
yeah,
chop
there
a
are some
person up?
robots. I forgot about the robots. You got to block them.
Yeah, so
You got to block them robots.
The more she gets into the the more she
the more levels, the harder
more
it
levels
gets.
you
Yeah.
complete. Yeah.
Well, and in the second one, you can start using the force.
That's empty.
And then there's blasters in the third one and grenades.
Oh wow.
And there's like 100 levels or something crazy or more.
Damn.
I haven't even cleared all of them on the regular Oculus
I gotta
version.
piss.
All right. Ooh. Nice job. That was wow. That was like a little parry strike. It was a don't fuck with me move is what that was.
On your right. Don't push me.
That's good looking out, Colin. You got to be careful. People will notice.
Coming in with a little bit of snackage. Shoving at the mouth.
What? Oh my god. What is Wait, I feel so
That was funny.
Are you in between levels? I want you to play the shooting game. Is that downloaded, Rob?
You can just play without the computer.
Oh.
If there's enough battery left.
Go back to the menu.
It might be fucking dead. Or close to died.
You want me to do it?
You got obviously have a USB, right? We could just plug that thing in and take it off the computer.
The back part of the headset here?
That's removable, yeah. I bought that because I was getting headaches from the other one. It was like
Yeah.
in weird pressure points on my head or something. I don't know. Would give me headaches. So I bought
Yeah, I
that
bet.
thing. And then that front
Yeah,
thing.
I can only play that for so long.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take motion sickness pills. For real.
Yeah, see, fuck that.
Sometimes you
That's
gotta,
where it goes wrong.
starts getting south. Yeah, there's a star. Okay. So there is one game called Star Wars Squadrons, and you fly an X-wing in like a TIE fighter and stuff like from Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? But that game specifically, this is a PC game, right? Or a console game. You can plug in any headset, like any virtual reality headset, into that and play the game in the headset. So then you're in the cockpit in virtual reality. So remember you were talking about
wow.
earlier, like, will games be universal? Like, will you be able to play them on a headset and be like, there's already one that's doing that right now.
Okay.
So I don't know how soon that'll be the standard, but
It'll be cool, like what we've been talking about with the like community gaming during Corona and stuff like this. Like, if the world continues to be like this for a bit, which like it could potentially, it'll be interesting to like still be able to socialize, you know, and like still be able to feel like you can just go out and do shit.
especially
No,
if you live
granted,
in a
not
cold
everybody
climate.
has it, you know. Yeah, especially if you live in a cold climate. I mean, you can't.
Because like that's the whole thing about.
It's never
what
going to
they're-
replace being out in nature,
No.
but
No, I agree.
it's a nice alternative. you know, if it's controlled.
Well, it's a nice way
If
to
it's
be able
rationed.
to punch floating balls coming at your face. But you can't really
Yeah.
do that in the real world without like somebody throwing balls at your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really cool to be able to simulate these environments in which you can do these activities. Like there's this game called Climb where you can like do mountain climbing. So Assassin's Creed would be a game that would be really hard to do the same things in virtual reality that your character can do in the game. That's not the virtual reality version. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
It'd be really hard to just
somersaulting.
It'd be super
and,
hard to just put a guy in the Assassin's Creed character and have the game work the same way. The mechanics are really different. But if they could figure out a way to add the climb mechanics, that's what the game's called, the climb,
Yeah.
and the Star Wars mechanics with the lightsabers and the blasters and the Force, if they were able to combine those two things.
But can't you just like walk forward with the joystick still? You
Yeah.
don't have to physically walk forward.
No,
But you could play Assassin's Creed, but with the joystick moving you instead of you actually physically.
Right.
And then you can stab and you can shoot the gun.
Yeah.
And you can like.
But the mechanics, I'm saying for the developers, the people making the game,
Yeah.
the mechanics of the interface is going to be way different in those two scenarios.
I see.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because when you're making the game for a third person point of view, there's like all these animations you have to make to
Yeah.
be able to, for the,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like a whole different concept. So I don't know if like
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed will ever be, there might be a VR version, I guess, but it wouldn't be like, it'd be proprietary to a VR version of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the design of the game would be different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Trine is doing stuff with. Trying to head esports for a while.
How many years now has that?
Um,
I've been in that room. It's pretty
like
dope.
like 3 years, I think now, 3 or 4 years, maybe 4.
Hmm.
And it'd be interesting to see where it goes with VR. Like if that esports world ever transitions. I'm sure it already is a little bit, but it seems like the esports world is mostly like PC.
How many people do you think have a Oculus headset right now? How many
Yeah, I
people?
don't know. It seems like they're growing more and more. Like one of her friends just got one.
Especially $300.
Yeah.
Especially $300. I mean, I'm not saying that's cheap, but like that's not that expensive
No,
either. You know
it's
what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah.
That's not that
I pay
expensive either.
I pay $260
And
a
the
month
games
for my
aren't even
car.
that
That's
expensive.
really not that crazy.
The games are like for the Oculus, some of them are only like $10.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like those Star Wars games are only like 10 or $12 or something a piece. But with that being said, there's only an hour of gameplay for the story and stuff. The dojo, obviously, you could play for hours and hours, but
Yeah.
so
They're limited to how long they can make the story because
you paid $30 for 3
That-
hours of content when it was all said and done. For
but
3
the
episodes.
dojos and stuff like the arcade modes and stuff are
Dope.
sweet. That pistol whip, I could play that every day.
And they're adding new songs and shit even still.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
updates and stuff.
Yeah, pistol whip to me is what that's like really simple but really cool at the same time. Like the graphics aren't that complicated.
Right.
But it's like a fun
Right.
interactive way to like just like interact with a video game in a different way.
That's what you were saying about it'll never really replace being in the real world. But at the same time, like
No.
where can you go in the real world and have that? Be
Yeah.
able to do that. So
Yeah,
it's sort
yeah.
of like
You
there's
can-
a time and a place too, you know? It's very interesting. And then the AR is coming next, like I was saying about the augmented reality. Where you can already do it where there's games where like aliens are coming out the walls and stuff. It's going to be crazy. Like you'll be able to put on a lightweight headset to wear around your home. And you, like if you want to go in the kitchen and cook, but you want to watch the game, you just grab your monitor that's not really there and you just take it into the living room with you because it's just, you can see it. You can see it's just augmented reality. So it's augmenting your reality with virtual objects. So you could decorate,
Oh,
you
wow.
can do it right now with the HoloLens. You can decorate your room. Like you could put like a nightstand that's a virtual nightstand in the middle of the room if you want. You can put like a bird, like an animated bird or like a monkey or whatever. You could just have it like hanging out somewhere and it'll stay there. So you walk around the room and you'll come back and it'll be there where you left it. You could decorate your room with virtual decorations and see them through your lens.
Whoa.
And then you can have a screen you just take around with
It'd
you.
be a great way to like declutter your house.
Yeah, there's like eventually, I mean, I don't know. Like we were saying, there's a time and a place. Like I don't know that physical screens will ever 100% go away.
But you can like have a bunch
But-
of shit in the augmented world and you can like go there for that. Cause you know how like I kind of have like knick-knacky stuff around the house, like stuff that just makes you feel like the space is like has character and stuff. you don't necessarily need all that stuff in your house anymore. It doesn't have to take up physical space.
Yeah.
It can just like be there a couple hours a day when you have the headset on, if you want it to be there.
Like, think about like all the resources that we're wasting building an actual screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus how much it would take to make a pair of glasses that you could
can all
wear.
just put your glasses on,
that would
and
have
the
a
TV
screen
can be anywhere,
or what? Yeah, or TVs.
Yeah, it really defines like
your TVs, your video game screen.
It kind of like changes the way we think about making a house.
What about like modeling
or anything? Yeah,
you want to model up some like car or like car engine or something. You just slap that thing on. You could like work. You could grab the physical virtual piece in real space and move it around. They're using the Google lenses to like train surgeons and shit now, dude. Yeah, they're using it to like help people with like doing surgery, like doing stuff for like medical students. And like if you put them on, like say you have like a piece of machinery and you're in like the circuit board and there's something wrong with it, you can slap those on, and then somebody else can have some on, and they can see what you're seeing through your lenses and like highlight things for you. Like the problem is in this area. You need to grab this cord, and through your lenses you'll see like a red circle.
Wow.
There's like a lot of that they're doing now too, professionally, for troubleshooting and like customer service and stuff.
Actual real world implication. It's not like video games anymore.
So the virtual reality
thing that you do,
is like all virtual space, right? But the augmented reality, like the AR shit, I think is going to be real powerful, like crazy powerful.
Yeah,
especially for home entertainment and stuff. And like you were saying about like just having like you come home and like you just have a space that like obviously you can sit on couches and stuff.
I think about the way that houses are designed or were like the older style is where you like kind of like have a kitchen that's a kitchen, and it's not necessarily a part of the living space. Like you don't live in the kitchen, whereas now I feel like I need to build a house where the kitchen is like around the entertaining area. So it all feels like you can be in the kitchen but also be with the people that you're entertaining. But you don't even necessarily, like I always think about I need a TV in the kitchen so I can like watch the game while I'm making food.
Yeah.
But I could just make food and the TV could be in the pan that I'm
anywhere you want it to be. Yeah.
Like
but anywhere you want.
Grill the chicken on the skillet, and then the TV can just be right in front of me,
there.
like on the chicken.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's wild. It completely changes everything.
You could pee onto it.
Yeah.
You could just put it over the toilet if you want.
Yeah, your TV just goes with you wherever. We're going to become zombies.
It'd just be crazy.
It's really kind of stupid, but it's so cool at the same time.
I don't think that being retired or super old or
dude.
like a little disabled is going to be as bad moving forward. You know what I'm saying? All three of those categories got some shit coming. Like if you're old and you're retired and you can't do that much, but you want to slap on.
Yeah,
think about like what's going to be there in like 20
anymore.
years from now. Yeah, dude, you can slap on, get on there and go see your friends in Facebook Horizon. You could play poker with them or pitch or bingo or whatever.
Whatever the fuck you want to do. Whatever you're
But meanwhile,
into.
you're still just in the rest home connected to whatever wires you need to still keep you alive. But you and your boy Frank, you met wherever.
Yeah,
you guys are still kicking it, man. And you're watching movies.
Retirement's going to be legit.
Doing
now.
whatever you want. Virtual space.
Especially what it gets to when by the time we're going to be retired.
For real, dude.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. It's going to be nuts.
We don't even have to hang out anymore. We can just put our headsets on and be across the world.
Just forget what people look like.
Yeah.
Don't have any mirrors anymore because I don't want to look at my ugly face.
Yeah, we're going to get like a really distorted sense of not just reality, but like of ourselves and of other people, and like.
And imagine the implications on communication, because as I age, I'm starting to realize how challenging of a skill communication is to like keep, maintain, and grow and build, because you have all these weird habits you develop and all these blind spots. But like imagine what it'll do. Like we're already having problems with like having to shut down chat rooms on games now. Like the new UFC 4 game doesn't have a chat room. You can't when you're playing a guy, you can't chat with him anymore. They just took it away because of all the online bullying and like people use it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all gone.
Especially in a game like UFC.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, and then like everyone's
that,
like using all sorts of just like slurs and just getting crazy. You know what I mean? So I think that's the problem. But that's another problem to think about with the virtual reality, is the fact that like you're not actually interacting with these people.
There's
so,
good
like,
and bad. You
how
get
much
real
shit
brave.
talking and like ridiculousness is going to come from that.
Yeah,
and like censorship. And then all the violations of right that come with that. Like, is there just going to be two different versions? Like, this is the one where, like, you can say and do whatever you want. come in here if you want to participate in that. But this one's like,
Yeah, you gotta like sign a
you got to
consent
tighten
form
the
and all that
fuck
shit.
up a little bit in this one over here because we got little Timmy and he's 7. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be saying that
His
stuff.
mom doesn't like
You
him
can't
hearing
be
the
saying
word
that
"dang
stuff
it."
about you know.
My neighbors growing up, when we play video games, I always got kicked out of their house because I would say "dang it."
That's
Like
hilarious.
if I died or something in the game, or like if I lost,
Man,
dang it.
what a weird power move by older people to limit the words I'm allowed to use in moments of high emotional stress, because for whatever reason my age restricts that use of the language. I don't
Yeah.
understand that at all. It's like a weird dominance thing that old people do, where it's like, you got to listen to me because you're younger and you can't talk like that. But like meanwhile they're over there talking about
Like
fucking
that.
this and shit
Yeah.
that and bitches and, you know,
Well,
motherfuckers.
this family
and-
wasn't. It was because
It's
they
just
were
really
religious.
interesting. Oh.
But
So that
That
parent
shit's stupid as
was
fuck,
that
too.
shit. Those parents were not swearing at all.
no,
either, then.
probably not. Not like the way I do,
Yeah,
or you know, like-
regularly.
yeah,
just
a
like
lot.
a part of your speech. I like swearing. It's like seasoning for your words.
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm good at not doing it though when you don't need to.
I'm terrible.
Although I
I
say
swear in
it
front of people all the
more.
time.
I do
don't
more
care.
than. Yeah,
I don't
sometimes I
even-
say swear words in front of people, and I'm like, why did I do
I
that?
guess I don't really. Like, I have sworn in front of my grandma, but it was always real minute, and I was always hyper aware of it. So I guess to say that I don't care,
But you
is
probably
a
said
lie.
like "damn" or
Yeah, it was
ass.
something quick like that, and then I was like, man, maybe I should tighten up a little bit because that is my grandma. You know what I mean? It was like I was
Yeah.
aware of the fact that I had said the swear word,
Yeah,
whereas like with you, I couldn't even tell you how many times. I have no idea. I'm just, I'm saying
you
whatever.
get around certain people and you just don't even.
Yeah,
You can like not censor yourself.
I swear around my parents though.
Yeah, me
My
too.
mom and dad
yeah.
don't. I've been swearing since I was
Sometimes-
like 10.
Sometimes I when I'm around my mom, and my mom's cool as fuck, but sometimes I'll swear like a certain amount maybe, or like I'll say a certain thing, and I'll like go, "That was my mom, dude. Like that's my mom. I don't need to say it like that."
I've been swearing since I was a real little kid. My dad always
Yeah.
told me that I could swear at home if I want. There's a time, and it had to be reasonable. Like I couldn't tell my mom to shut the fuck up, but I also couldn't tell my I also couldn't tell my mom to shut up either. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I said
Yeah,
the
shut
fuck
up
in there was
wasn't-
sort of
yeah.
irrelevant.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
That's
there was,
a good point.
you know what I mean? Like it was cool. He was cool about it. Like if I stubbed my toe or like I could watch R-rated movies. I did get in trouble at school a couple of times for swearing, but it was always real like little things like you were saying. Like, but they never called my parents or nothing. But I do
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
getting talked to and be like, hey, you can't talk like that here.
Yeah. There's a time and a place.
When I was in like the 2nd grade or something, I got stung by a bee and I was swearing.
that's
And then
that's fine.
One time in the 4th
That should
grade,
be okay.
in the 4th grade, I swore about something and I got talked to by the principal both times.
It's so weird that we monitor words.
Like that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
That's a word.
It's
Chill
odd.
the fuck out.
It's odd.
Why are you
yeah.
offended by a word?
But with that being said, it is sort of natural that like, I don't know. It's really interesting to think about, isn't it? Because it is sort of natural to like for that to occur, and you would classify these things like that's just sort of like how it shook out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a reason we have freedom of speech, because there were people that didn't want you to be able to say certain things, and there were people that did, and we kind of like sort of met in the middle a little bit, and it's always like getting pulled in both directions. Like, we don't think you should be able to use this word. Well,
Well, that word don't mean that no more.
yeah, man, there's just so many of them.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
When could, hey, person under the blanket, when could you start swearing?
Do you remember?
Yeah, around your parents. You
Still can't.
That's not true. I cuss in front of your mom sometimes. Is that not okay?
That doesn't mean that she likes it.
She doesn't like it. Like my dad never. My mom's. I don't. Coco does, but I don't because I get a
Oh.
tingle.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
hyper aware. Yeah.
And I don't know if she's gonna backhand me this one.
Oh.
I'm in a bad mood.
Huh. All right, I'm not going to say fuck in front of your mom anymore.
Hey man, sometimes you learn some things and you tuck that information away. You know.
Every time he swears, says that.
She's cool, so she doesn't seem like she cares.
She's. I mean, if you both are smoking a.
Yeah. She's cool, so
You just gotta.
she seems like someone that wouldn't care.
You gotta know
Oh, like it's a certain time thing. Like sometimes it's okay and other times it's not. Isn't that with everybody though?
What about at church? Can I swear at church?
Do you
That's
do
probably
you
a
go
place
to
you
church?
shouldn't swear, right? No, not anymore.
I didn't think so. Is this thing charging?
Yeah,
Is there,
a
like,
red
some
light?
sort of
Is there a
indicator
red
that
light
says
on
it's
the
charging?
one side?
There was.
I think it's on the other side. That's on that side. Is it red?
Would it be on?
Maybe just
That
unplug
part.
that thing and plug it back in.
Would it be right here?
No, it's smaller. Here. Yeah, there we go. And if it's on, you should be able to play it if it's plugged in. So
It's charging now, so you should be able to play it while it's charging
yeah, if
when you come back.
if you want to hop back in.
What? Oh,
Ooh, a little bit of food action. I'm gonna try to not eat the nuts right by the microphone. But I am gonna make a disclaimer that there may be some nut chewing noises for the next.
yeah, that's the world
few
famous
minutes.
nut mix right there.
I'll tell you what, man, I miss Sacramento. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, yeah, for a lot of reason, probably, right?
Yeah, and
No
well, there's
more.
a lot of reasons I don't miss it too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons I'm happy I'm back. If I can get something going around here comedy-wise, I will. It's nice to know that I have an option to at least I have the opportunity to make some income in a way that I'm comfortable making it at the business, which is cool too. Like it's a really nice opportunity with my family and stuff there. It's like a real privilege to be able to do those things. I'm really grateful for that. But I do miss number one, the weather. Obviously,
Yeah.
was really, really nice. Number two, the people that I met there were really cool. I really made a lot of really good friends there. And number three, obviously, is the opportunity for a person in my stage in my comedy career to move to the next stage is a lot thinner around here.
Yeah.
Like clubs that are around here for the most part, like if you're an established club, like you're an improv or you're you're going to hire talent in, like you're not really going to be looking for somebody who's just starting as a comic to hire at the club. And if you are, it's like a guy is in the area or whatever. Like it's going to be a little more difficult. It's not like a developmental club like Flappers was. Like the improv, if you're like, it's really hard to get into that. It's a little bit different to get into those around here than there. And plus there was so many more there. Like in Sacramento, there was like the Blacktop Comedy Club, Tommy T's, like the improv. There was this place called Laughs Unlimited. They were like all like, and there were open mics all over the place at all these bars. There's like a real like established comedy
like a
scene there.
Yeah, that you can go do multiple
So in
things.
my immediate area, there's only really opportunities to do like sets 2 nights a week. If I want to do more, I'm gonna have to drive.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to drive
yeah.
like a pretty good distance to be able to do those. So there are the opportunities here, but it's way more spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Chicago's pretty close. Grand Rapids has a club. Nashville's not that far away. There was pre-COVID a really good scene there. It looked like there was like maybe 3 or 4 mics a night from some of the stuff I saw online. But I don't know. It's just I'm curious to see what's going to happen with some of that. But I do really miss Sacramento for those reasons.
What do you mean that Flappers is a developmental club?
So
What does
they
that mean?
have open auditions and they're looking for people to come. Like it's like they have like bringer shows.
Okay.
So they have like low level people like me try to bring their friends and family and cousins and shit to come watch them, and the club makes money.
Yep.
So they're trying to find people like me who are trying to be a comic. So I get to perform at a club.
So it
And
like
I bring
incentivizes you to like make friends and like get people to come to the shows and like.
And that's how Flappers can make some money. But
Yeah.
the people get mad about that. People are like, well, it's a bringer show. It's a bringer show. Yeah, but like you got to bring people that want to watch you. Why else would the club want to hire you to do comedy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're just bringing people that are like your fans, maybe they're not their family, like you're still bringing those. Like TJ Miller is bringing people to that comedy club. They're buying tickets to see TJ Miller.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying tickets to go to the improv.
Yeah.
Some
for
people
sure.
are. There's some people who are like, fuck it, we'll go see this comedian. Maybe they haven't heard of him. But for the most
Yeah,
part,
they
like
just
people are
go
going
out
to
on-
see him because
yeah.
they want to see TJ Miller.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like if you're a headliner at the improv,
There are
if I
just
headlined
fans.
an improv, how many people do you think would buy tickets?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But-
Presenting Rob Lake, like how many people are going to show up for that? if I'm not doing like an aggressive ass marketing campaign and like giving away tickets and shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. But
There
anyways,
are fans of comedy that will just go to the
there are,
place.
especially like at the Comedy Store and stuff. Like
Oh
you might
yeah.
not, there's
They'll
a
just go
lineup
to-
of a lot of
just
comics.
go to hang out, and you know any night is going to be amazing.
But with that being said, that's a professional club, and you got to
Oh,
show
for
up.
sure,
And you
yeah.
got to show up and show out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
yeah.
that ain't
Well,
flappers.
No, I know.
That's
yeah.
the difference.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's
Yeah.
kind of the point. Like Flappers has like classes. They have like pay us money and like you can perform on our stage if you want if you pay us money, and we'll teach you and then we'll have a show at the end. They have like
Interesting.
Yeah, they have like improv classes and stuff too, and like how to write sketch comedy. They're like a developmental club.
Interesting.
They still have like a main room, and they still have like headliners come and do comedy there. Like Bill Burr and Whitney Cummings and all them still do stand up at Flappers. Don't get me wrong; it's not like it's
Yeah.
not a comedy club.
Yeah.
But
it just also does some other
It
shit.
also is like
Yeah.
sort of geared toward people who want to be comics. But like, I'm not gonna get booked at the store,
No,
know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
and like I'm probably
You have
not
to
even.
get past at
I'm
the
probably
store.
not even gonna
Yeah.
get on the open mic at the store. You got to go into an audition at Flappers too, but like it's at the store. It might be like 3 hours. You might be there till like and you go to go for 2 minutes. It's like you might be there forever. It's a
Yeah,
lot different.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's just a whole different vibe there.
The thing that Kill Tony, what's his name? Tony Hinchcliffe, that he does at the store where people can
Beautiful.
yeah, that's
So
really
beautiful.
cool.
You just go put your name in a hat, and they call you up, and that's an
Yeah.
opportunity right there to do some dope shit, especially if you kill on there.
Yeah, he's
Or
got
Tony
like some
Hinchcliffe, too.
reoccurring people.
Yeah, he'll like hire you to do some shit. Like you come in every week and try to do a new minute or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, he has like reoccurring people that he'll like. That he has, I think he's like started touring. Like he'll like tour with people that started off as somebody who came on his
And
show.
I imagine if you kill
and
Kill
killed it.
Tony, the store might be like, "Hey, do you want to do 5 minutes
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on a Tuesday or whatever?"
yeah. Yeah. That whole world is interesting to me. It always has been.
Yeah, dude. I'm really excited to see what happens next with all that. Where I'm going to be. I'm in no hurry. Is the other thing though too. Like, I would like to around March have some sort of project completed, or like on the road to being completed. By like June, I'd like to have something done at the
Yeah.
latest. You know what I mean? But I'm in no hurry to be producing this content and like start putting shit on YouTube tomorrow. Like,
If it's not good.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the number one thing. That's number one. And number two is like I'm also doing a lot of other things right now too. So like the process isn't gonna be like I'm spending 8 hours a day straight writing jokes, practicing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a little more spread out than that with like what I'm doing at work and like some of the other writing I'm doing and like some other goals and some other things I'm kind of focusing on too. Like, so I'd like to be getting paid and like be able to bring some people to a show. I'd like to be able to be like known as a comedian, like in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
So that'd be pretty
yeah,
dope.
of course.
I'm in no huge hurry to like tomorrow
It
I have
takes
to be
a
like
long
known as a
time.
comic.
It's not like you really don't have a choice.
And I don't want to
you
put
know?
out some one. I don't want to put out some garbage, and two, I don't know. I just want to make. I'm having a good time with the process. How I'm doing it now. I'm writing a couple of jokes. I just got a new notebook actually. Got it in my book bag. It's pretty dope. So I'm having a good time like with the process, and I'm only performing once a week, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So it feels a lot slower. Because in LA, sometimes I get up like 7 times in a night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Flappers is north of LA, right?
It's in Burbank, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like west. It's like east of North Hollywood. It's dope. I like Burbank a lot. It's just so expensive to live to. My car insurance was $1,000 cheaper in Indiana for the year.
Holy shit.
Well, it was like I'm rounding up a little bit, but it was like close to $1,000 cheaper. Yeah, dude,
Oh.
it's insane. Like
My
to
car insurance
register
is
your
like
shit there,
like $90 a month.
to like register your shit there, and like all that. It's crazy, dude. It's like really expensive. It was like $800 cheaper or something crazy. It might have been like close to $900 cheaper. I got a check back. I got a check back from Safeco.
But you make more money if you're living out there. The cost of living is different. obviously, but you also
Yeah,
make
but
more money doing the same job.
You do, but like
but you don't.
a condo, a one-bedroom condo with one bath is like $330,000-$400,000. You're not making that much more money
No, I know.
than someone in Indiana
Yeah,
that
I
you
know.
can just afford. It's really expensive out there.
The cost of living around here, like even as I start to look at places to build in Fort Wayne, is so like what you can build here on property, even just buying empty property. I saw something that was 44 acres for like $630,000.
Yeah,
That's like crazy.
that's insane. Well, you can get. I was paying
That's really cheap.
$13.30 a month for my studio in California. $13.50 with pet fees maybe or something. And here you can get a studio for like $500.
Yeah, the low level rent around here is like $700. Well, that's like the apartments. You can get like probably $500 to $700 around here for like a not great place.
There was one in Fort Wayne. There's one in Fort Wayne for like $475 for a studio.
Yeah, in Fort Wayne. I was talking Angola, I guess, but
yeah, isn't that crazy?
yeah, it's wild. That's part of the reason that I like being around here, is because I don't need all the stuff that makes all these other places expensive. Like to live in all these other places, you know, the weather is really great and you're paying for it, and there's all kind of shit to do. There's like so much shit to do.
But there's also a lot of upkeep that comes with that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you got these problems where these places are fucking falling apart now. Like, because there's just so much shit everywhere, and it's goddamn city planning, and you got guys picking up fucking trash places, and you got wiring all over the place and plumbing.
Yeah.
You know, and
living in
eventually
the
all that's
city
got to be
is-
maintained.
Yeah.
Like when COVID happened in New York, they were like, well, now they're cleaning the subway twice a day. And it's like, they weren't cleaning the subway before? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean now they're cleaning it twice a day?
Yeah.
Like, what was the cleaning schedule
Because
pre-COVID?
nobody wanted to be in that.
You know what I
thing
mean? So
cleaning
it's
it.
like, it's really
Yeah.
interesting to think about, like how many times do you go to somebody's house or like you look in their car? And this, you look in my car right now, you'd
Yeah.
be like, this guy's a little messy. This guy's a little dirty. Now put a million of me in New York.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's only like 1/20th of the population.
Yeah,
there,
I have
but
no interest to live in the city anymore.
put a million of me in New York and let me live in like kind of this close to a bunch of other me's. And then, you know, it's going to get pretty dirty. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're talking about how we're going to start spreading out more, and there's this concept of like the 15-minute city, or it might be 25-minute maybe. I'd love to be able to look at that article again, but they were talking about how like the goal they're thinking with like the future of city planning is going to be able to get everything that you need within like a 15-minute area, and then just have a bunch of those.
Oh,
Like a utopia
yeah.
in this area with like everything that you would need to have, which is sort of what a city is now, but it's like
Yeah, but you
super
could just spread it out
congested.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as many people, and then obviously you wouldn't need as many things. Like you wouldn't need the thing, because the people 15 minutes away would be able to go to this other.
But then we're just
bar.
going to ruin all of the wilderness and all the like you still need empty space for just like
I don't know enough about any of how much space they're planning on taking up, or like what
Yeah.
conservation measures they have as a result of that. But
yeah.
it's really interesting to think about city planning in that facet, and like how much space we have, because we've got a lot of land. Like if you ever drove across the
Yeah,
country, there's
we
like
do.
a lot of open space.
There's a lot of places that you wouldn't want to live though too. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of places that are pretty difficult to like build in.
Yeah, because of the terrain and all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, tons of space that is not really very livable.
I wonder what could be, how much it would cost to do what would need to be done to make that like sturdy enough, like a little oasis of like a city on like a metal plank or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they like drill into the the sand with
yeah.
these posts that are like 30 stories tall or whatever, and
Yeah, you could
they
build
put it on
like
stilts or some shit. I wonder how much that would cost.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think whenever I think of like really difficult places that we've like figured out how to manage living is like Machu Picchu. Like it doesn't seem like places like that are like so high up in the mountains, but they have these like villages up there that like somehow everything's sustainable and the people can never leave their mountain
Yeah, so
peak
crazy.
or whatever. And live fine over there.
I
mean,
I had a really good time living in the cities that I do. Like I don't know, I didn't really like Pittsburgh, but I had a good enough time living there, and I liked Sacramento a lot, and I liked LA. But the reasons I liked Sacramento and LA were because of the opportunities for the entertainment for comedy.
yep.
I would not
You're
have been
paying
there
to be able to live there, to have shit to do
that
all the
and
time.
That and the amount of people. I don't really like that there's that many people there either. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so one time I was in LA and I went from Melrose Avenue up to Burbank, this place off Burbank Boulevard, to go to the Fourth Wall, and those two places are 9 miles apart from each other. I went from Bert's Back Room, this little comedy place down on Melrose, to another little comedy place 9 miles away. And it was around 5 o'clock when I did that. 9 miles. Took me over an hour
Yeah, fuck that,
to
man.
get there. So let me ask you a question, because that's not even everybody there that's trying to get to where I, like on that road, right? That's like people are going all different directions and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine there's some sort of disaster in which the requirement is that I need to leave LA within X period of time.
Yeah, it's not happening.
You're not getting out.
No.
You're not going to be able to leave. So those things like that, when I think about that, that's like really scary in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it's like,
for
you
sure.
know, some of the, and like the earthquakes and all that shit too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't really want to live there. Even if I would have made it as a comedian, I don't know that I'd want to live there like a long time, like permanently, a few months at a time or
That's
whatever.
another reason I like to be out a little bit, is you don't have to worry
Some shit
about,
pops
like,
off.
you
What do you
can
do?
kind of do some self-sustainable shit where you, yeah.
How do you get out? I mean, there's 20 million people in that area.
Or you, yeah.
In
yeah.
that like kind of immediate area around LA. And that's not even counting the whole state. An eighth of the country, an eighth of the population lives in California.
That's ridiculous.
And there's always fires and shit everywhere all the time. It's crazy over there, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know.
There are times where I wish I didn't live in Indiana, but there are a lot of times that I'm really, really grateful for it. Yeah.
I think a little further south would be fun. Somewhere like, I don't know, not Florida. But Florida would be cool, I guess. It'd be cool enough.
I like Tennessee and North Carolina.
Dude, I want to go to Nashville for like a month, and I want to do that sometime in the beginning of next year. I want to take 4 weeks, and I want to go get down to like an extended stay hotel where they have like weekly rates at the hotel. And I'm not taking my dog, I don't think. I think I'll leave it with my parents. And I want to go down and just like fucking just hit mics and like talk to people and see what's up. I really want to check out Nashville.
Yeah, that's a really cool place.
Yeah.
It's really
It's on my
fucking cool.
list. It's on my list of places to go. One of the first places I want to go. I wouldn't mind going to Chicago, but I don't know if I want to live there either.
Chicago's cold, man.
The
It's
winters
really
are
cold.
brutal. Yeah, it's brutal.
It's like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're like down in the city, because it's so fucking windy.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is like that too. Milwaukee's even colder.
That's the downside. This is the big downside.
It's a
of
really
living there.
cool city 5 months of the year.
Grand Rapids has a couple of clubs and some stuff near it. Like Michigan has some clubs, but I don't know what like the local scene's like or like what it takes to get there. And like I don't know. And the other thing that's cool about being able to work with my parents again, with my dad and my brother, the really cool thing is that like I can take my time. As I don't need, like it's cool to have the supplement there and then be able to like maybe get booked on a show once every couple months. You know what I mean? Like it's not such a necessity to need to get, because if you're working as a comic every weekend, I'm going to some new city somewhere because you gotta get paid per show, obviously.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel.
But there's like you gotta fucking hoof your ass around all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that's cool is like I'll have a home base and I can leave my dog there too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have the border or nothing. I can just be like, hey, watch my dog. I'm flying out to wherever or driving or whatever. Which I could fly.
Yeah.
I could fly because I wouldn't have my dog anymore. That's the whole reason I've been driving everywhere.
Because of the dog.
Because of Molly.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fly with my dog. That's the whole reason I drove across the country like 7 times in a year.
Dude, you were doing it. You were getting after it. That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, dude. I did so many sets, man. In 1 month, I did 30 sets every week. So I did 120 sets in 1 month in LA once. Because I would just do like 7 a night.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to sharpen the tool.
Yeah. So I just do a whole shit ton of dude, the other night I was down at this place I do stand up at, and this guy came up to me and he was all wasted. And he was telling me how his friend doesn't want to do stand up because he doesn't want to bomb.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, like, this and that. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. And this other dude came out, and he thought that I was the one that said I was scared of bombing. So he started, like, explaining to me what bombing was like. And it was kind of awkward because, like, obviously I bombed before, right?
Yeah.
So what do you how do you think you would have responded in that situation if somebody said that to you? Do you think that you would be, like, annoyed? Do you think
said what to you?
Okay, so I was outside talking to this guy, and he said he had a friend who was scared of bombing.
Yeah, I get that part. Yeah.
Right. So then this guy
Another
came
guy
out,
comes in.
and he thought I was the one that said I didn't want to try stand up.
But he had he seen you do
Apparently
stand-up?
not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how do you think you would have responded to that? Like, what do you think your initial, like, knee-jerk response to that would have been?
Probably that
You think you would have been annoyed a little bit?
I would have been like, "Oh no, he's not talking about me. I've bombed."
Yeah. Which is how I
Yeah.
did it, yeah.
Yeah.
But because at first I was a little bit annoyed, which is irrational.
Yeah.
Because how does this guy know? You know what I mean? He's just walking
Yeah.
in halfway.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like kind of weird to be like so defensive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a weird, like,
Yeah, very.
when I thought about that afterwards, I was like, because I wasn't like, I didn't get like shitty with him or nothing. I was just like, oh no, he's talking about his friend. Like, I'm going up tonight, or whatever. But it's just interesting to think about, like, why would that cause me any level of, like, upsetness?
Yeah, our egos are weird.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very interesting that, like, the initial thing is to be like, who the fuck's this guy talking to me? You know what I mean? Like I never bombed before. Don't you know who the fuck I am? Obviously not. You know what I mean? But, like,
No, he doesn't know you at all.
how would he?
Yeah.
It's irrational to think that he would just assume that I've bombed,
Yeah.
Recently, I've been doing this really weird thing where I think about the specifics of conversations like that a lot. And, like, what could I have said or done differently, especially if I allow that knee-jerk emotion to be in the driver's seat of the response, where it's
Yeah.
like I got kind of upset about or, like, stuck on a thing that, like, didn't really even matter.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? And then
yeah.
you just sit in your room sometimes and you're, like, in your bed and you're just stewing. And
I
you're
always
just sitting
think
there
about
and you're
stuff
like,
that, like, I wish I would have said.
oh yeah.
Like, because you, like, come up with something good, like, 2 hours later, like, fuck, that would have been great.
Or you just repeat. Sometimes I just repeat, and sometimes I lie to myself about how it went, or I'll change the thing that they said. Like, well, he said that. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of alter
yeah.
it a little, but I'll just replay it over in my head, and then sometimes it'll be like 5 minutes later, and I'll think about it again, and I'll just be sitting there, and I'll just be like, God, fucking, and you just get. It's like you just, like, are bathing in this weird, like, essence of this conversation that you just can't shake off.
And to that person, it probably doesn't even, they forgot about
Probably
it for
did.
sure.
They probably
Yeah.
did, more than likely.
Or maybe not.
Maybe they're
Maybe
thinking
they're
about
weird
it too.
like we are.
It always happens to me on
Probably.
Fridays. It always happens to me on Fridays after work because I had a whole week of all these, like, sometimes hypersensitive interactions, because you have people that come in and, like, want to give you their opinion or, like, tell you that they don't want to do something or they got some shit to say about somebody that they're working with. Sometimes it's like a weird, it's like a weird energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when
work
you're
is
dealing
funny.
when you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the week, you've had a buildup of all these small instances, and then you're just sitting there after work on the way home, kind of gripping the steering wheel a little tight, and you're like, God damn, so-and-so said this thing. That guy's an idiot. And it's really weird. Like, sometimes I'll think about the same thing till, like, Sunday morning. It'll be like Friday night, and this thing will bother me for, like, a whole day and, like, a quarter. And I'll just be sitting there in my room on Sunday, and it's happened to me. I've only been working again
Yeah,
for
you
like
gotta
3
let
or
that
4
shit
weeks.
go. It's
But
hard, though.
But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, why am I still thinking about this? Why is this still, like, just visiting me again in the back of my mind?
Yeah.
It's like I'm just carrying this thing around with me.
Well,
since
because
Friday.
your work becomes your life. For a lot of people, your work is your life.
It's really weird.
It's hard to turn it off. I know that.
It's very interesting. And before, I wasn't really talking to, I was friends with people and stuff, and I did stand up, but I didn't have to work with somebody for the whole day before. I
Yeah.
just saw them at the park or whatever, like.
Yeah, I don't really like being around people very much.
It's interesting how, like, you have people who have energy, and then everybody has a certain energy, and then they come in and, like, those energies are affected by other people's energies, and some of them just don't mash. They just don't mix up. But the
Yeah.
problem is, in a work setting, is that they have to, because you're a part of a team. You got to solve these problems. You got to get this shit done.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of like get in the driver's seat of your emotions and be like, it doesn't really matter that so-and-so is an idiot, or, you know, it doesn't really matter that so-and-so said a thing that was contrary to the thing that you said. None of that really matters. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to move forward to get the project done.
That's probably why you're dwelling on it afterwards, you know, in the car or the next day, is because you can't right then.
Yeah, in the moment, you sort of just have to push it away.
Yeah, and then it comes back later. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then you're just like...
I don't deal with much of that.
I like the past couple of weeks, I'm getting thrown into this pool of this already established culture that I'm not a part of anymore. It's been 3 years since I worked there. And it's really interesting to see all this like social dynamic. And everybody's great. I'm working with people, and it's not that everybody's coming to me and complaining. I'm really exaggerating the experience that I'm having, but you know, it's a really cool environment, and like people do work well together. But sometimes you have somebody who comes in the morning and they're tired, and they say something kind of snappy, or like you say good morning to them and they don't say good morning to you, and then you're sitting around the rest of the day and you're making something and you're like, why didn't so and so say good morning back to me this morning? You know what I mean? And it's just like this weird little fucking thing you carry around with you all day that doesn't even matter. You're just carrying it around with you all day.
I really only work with one person for the most part, and there are days where we don't really talk much, and there are other days where we talk all the time. Just kind of depends on
You know what I mean?
And I love that there's only one person, because I just don't have to deal with other people.
All the energy,
that's why that's why people that are managers get paid money, dude. Like that's why you make more money. You gotta just deal with all these fucking idiots.
And then you gotta sit them down. You gotta sit them down and be like, no, listen, I don't care that so and so didn't say good morning to you on Tuesday. Nobody cares. Okay?
We need to get the shipment out.
You know, nobody gives a shit.
It has to go. There are people waiting on the shipment. I don't give a fuck. Dude, it would be hard to be a manager.
Then you can just flex with people because you're not the one paying them, but the business is paying them. So you can sort of you're like, we're paying you to shut the fuck up. Put this shit on the truck. I don't care that Timmy ate part of your Pop-Tart or whatever. You know? Shouldn't have left it out. Should have put your name on it. We got a label maker over there to avoid this sort of thing. I did put my name on it,
and he ate it anyways.
And that's where you're talking about how hard it is to be a manager. Yeah. Right in that moment.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I did put my name on it. He's like, well, fuck. What do we do now?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. Still needs to get out.
The Pop-Tart problem really is irrelevant. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping that you had forgot to put your name on it and the problem would have been solved. But now we're still here dealing with it.
Did he say sorry?
Well, yeah, he did. He did say sorry. He said he didn't.
Come on, let's go. I'll make him say sorry.
You gotta like shake hands afterwards.
Yeah, you're a babysitter at a certain point.
Man, that's like an HR guy, right?
Sorta, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, being in HR would suck. That's all your work is to deal with.
And
that
think
kind
about
of dumb shit.
all the people that don't make the cut. Like the guy that just comes in, it's like for an office job, and he showed up in sweatpants. He's like smells like whiskey. You know, he's got 5 o'clock shadow. He didn't even bother to iron his t-shirt. You know, and he's wearing
a lot of stupid people.
He's wearing shoes that are obviously too big. He's got he can't even buy shoes that fit right. And you got this guy coming in applying for a position at your job,
and he can vote. We let him vote.
Then you got to ask the guy those questions. You got to ask him. You got to say, where do you see yourself in 5 years and all that shit. And how do you handle criticism? And then he's over there asking if he can light a cigarette in the office. Can I smoke in here?
Yeah, handling criticism is a big one. Is a really big one.
Do you get hostile when somebody in a higher position who's higher than you gives you instructions? Do you take instructions well?
I never thought about those kind of things.
That's really important.
I never thought about those kind of things until my first review when I started working. Like when my boss said that I handled all those things really well, and he was like very appreciative of it. And I was like, afterwards, I was kind of like, oh wow, I never even thought about the fact that like most people are like don't handle those things well. Like they become another person almost. They like can't function. It's interesting.
Then they're passive aggressive, and then
they become.
Then they're
unable to work.
They're like rationalizing things. It's like things that don't matter. They like rationalize them to make it so that their point of view is right and that person's wrong. When like it's not even about right or wrong. So you were given a task, It doesn't matter whether or not, you know what I mean? Obviously, if
Yeah.
it's something ridiculous like break this really big statue with only this hammer, like you can tell me to fuck off. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not giving you the appropriate tools to do the job, that's one thing. But if it's like it's just something you don't want to do or like something you think should be done differently or whatever, there's a way to handle that and not. But then you got to deal with all that shit in an organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you're paid to carry out a task. You're not paid to like criticize the task. But then at the same time, I guess you could argue that like he's the person doing the task, and like if he has an input to improve the task, why shouldn't he be able to provide said input?
Yeah, I'm taking
You know what I mean?
starting in January, I'm taking the Trine has a master's program in leadership, and I'm doing that.
I got a master's degree in that
you did that
program.
one,
Yeah,
right?
the
That's what I
Holtz,
thought. Yeah, I'm about to do that. And that's like exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
It's all very interesting.
Yeah.
Downward communication, horizontal communication,
was all-
upward communication.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very interesting to think about. Like,
It's a lot of papers mostly, right?
yeah, dude.
It's just writing stuff.
I gotta tell you right now.
It's easy.
I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
tell
why
you-
I'm doing it.
I gotta tell you right now. I have a master's degree in leadership of sustainable and environmental development, and it was not that difficult to obtain.
No. I know. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, it
'Cause,
was
yeah.
not that hard.
If I get my master's, then I can teach
Only like
classes
a year,
and
right?
make more
It's only
money.
like a year program. Isn't it?
Since I work at the university, I can do it for free, but I can only take a certain amount of credit hours before it becomes taxable. So I have to only take, so in order for it to be free, I have to do it in 3.5 years. So I can only take I think it's 2 classes per semester.
Oh, then
So I'm taking like 6 credits at a
then
time.
you're for sure gonna crush
Oh
it.
yeah.
Then you're for sure you're gonna demolish it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be really fucking easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm doing
Papers and PowerPoints for the most part because
Yeah.
it was all virtual.
it. Yep, it's all online.
And I did have to, for a couple of them, I did have to go to a place and have someone like proctor my exam so they could like prove that I wasn't cheating. Or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
but I'm at the university, so I can just do that easily.
Yeah, you might have a situation where like someone has to watch you physically take some sort of examination or test or something. But that only happened a couple of times. So like mostly it was for like finals or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Which probably aren't very hard either.
it really wasn't that bad. No.
I think the bottom line is that I'm definitely gonna probably get one of these things.
Dude, $300 you can get one right now at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have them like in stock at a
So
at
I could
Walmart.
just go get one tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure
or
they
today
you
if I
could.
wanted to.
Well, and it's been a little bit since they came out, and I know that I don't know. I saw some the other day at Best Buy, I think, when I was down there for some other shit.
I feel like it's way cheaper now. When you got it, it was more than 300, right?
I got mine right before that crazy shit went down where nobody was getting any, and people were selling them on eBay for like $800, $900.
Oh.
So I had got mine at the Best Buy on sale for like $250.
Oh,
so I
fuck.
actually got mine cheaper than everybody else got theirs.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll get one.
it was pretty dope. Then we could hang out, man.
Yeah.
We could hang out in VR together and watch.
We never have to hang out like this anymore.
No,
Yeah, we
and
could
I would
just-
never have to see you in
Yeah.
person ever again. It would be crazy
Yeah.
and sad.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, but we would still be connected. Our auras.
Can we do a podcast through it?
You know what? I don't know, but I tell you what.
We both have these
I tell you what. I
things.
would love to explore the idea of
That'd be
doing
really
is a
awesome.
virtual podcast. I would love to explore that idea. Yeah, because then we could just do it.
It wouldn't like we both have mixers, we both have the mics,
Yeah.
and we both have the computer
Yeah, no
software.
shit, yeah.
So you just record your audio file and I record mine, and then we can fucking Zoom each other on the headsets.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Right? That's got to be a thing. You got to be able to like do a
Do
video
something.
call,
Yeah,
right?
we gotta be able to do something like that. Yeah.
There has
Because
to
we
be
can
a
just
video
hang. I'm pretty
call.
sure you can like hang out at my house with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure we can just like watch movies like on the big screen together. Like
Yeah, we
I
should
think,
do
I
that.
think we
like
could
this.
just hang
This
out
is
and like
great.
watch Netflix together or whatever.
Fuck.
Yeah. So when are you thinking that you're gonna come down? When are you thinking you're gonna come to? We gonna do this first video?
Yeah.
Because I could do a 5 minutes fucking whenever, but the problem is we got holidays coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
and I'm not sure what's gonna happen with some of these COVID restrictions.
Mhm.
I'm cool with just waiting till like.
That's fine with me. Yeah.
I'm cool with just waiting.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that works.
Then we can come in and get a dry run in, and like a first one.
Yeah.
I'll just do a type 5 and like maybe I'll wear a suit or a backwards hat. But
Yeah,
we'll just
or
dick around a little
suspenders
bit. Yeah,
or whatever.
something. Yeah, then we could just dick around and just kind of see what happens. That'd be cool.
Works for me. Yeah. I think I have what I would want, like camera setup wise.
How many? How you planning on doing that? What's your? You got an idea for what's?
The university has 2 cameras that are used like for live streaming sports and stuff, and they kind of suck, but they're like good enough to be like a second, like not the main shot. You know, like something else to cut to.
Yeah.
You know, just be like something that's behind you to show like the crowd a little bit with like you on the side or like, you know, over one of your shoulders or something like that. And then I have 2 cameras that are like really great. That one is the university's and one is mine, but I'm the only one that uses them. So like, yeah.
Sweet. That's dope as
fuck. I have like a wide shot essentially from the back center that is like a fallback shot, and then another camera right next to it where I would like be zoomed in, you know, like head and shoulders or whatever I want. I can zoom in and out and track and pan around and stuff like that. And
so that 2 stationary and a third one that you would just be like,
yeah,
doing shit with?
2 straight ahead from the back of the room, and then either 1 or 2 that would give me like another random. And I may have a couple kids from the university that it's interesting because it's not work study hours for them, but I can basically just say, hey, you're going to come do this for free and not get paid, but it'll be a great opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what college is for.
Hell yeah.
You know, like, hey, we're going to go do this thing and it has nothing to do with the university, but it's a great experience because you know someone that works at the university. So yeah, there's a couple kids that would be interested.
And I am not allowed to smoke pot with them.
Probably not. I mean, maybe. Yeah, sure. I don't care. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'll ask them if they smoke.
I'm trying to think if these kids, yeah, maybe one of them would.
I did stand up the other day sober, and I hate to admit it, but I had a lot better set.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The problem is
more on top of it.
The problem isn't that I smoke. The problem is that I smoke too much right before I go on stage. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So if I just hit my pen once or twice and go up, I'll be fine. But if I'm smoking out in the parking lot and I'm hitting that dab pen 7, 8, 9 times, and then I'm coming in and going up on stage,
you got to go for something a little more.
It's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's a little more like 5 milligrams and less like 300.
Yeah, Colin, that's you. My one buddy came up to me after a show really one time and he goes, "Hey man, you need to speak up a little bit." And I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" And he was like, "I got to tell you today you were a little bit mumbly."
Well, that's good that you have people that can like give you feedback and stuff.
I was like, "Oh, okay. I know what the problem is. I know why that happened." You know, like that was kind of
pretty
a shitty
stoned
performance. Yeah. I was just up there saying things into a microphone, literally. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing behind it.
Do you feel like you get comfortable now that you just kind of like can hang out up there a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like to the point where I also don't care either. Like, don't get me wrong, bombing still isn't fun. I don't enjoy it.
No,
but I'll go up and eat dick for 5 minutes and like whatever. You know what I mean? Like I would just go up and I'd be 100% comfortable going up in front of a room full of people and just ranting right now if it wasn't a paid show. If it was like an open mic, I'd be cool with just going up there and ranting. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
It's an interesting skill. It really is. I think that's why I've always been so fascinated by it.
I used to bomb, like one time I bombed in Indy when I was living with Shaylee. And I was like, I bombed after I had just done really well, like 2 or 3 times in a row. And I ate some shit, and I just remember just fretting about it. I was like sitting on the couch, my leg was bouncing the bunts. And she was like asking me, she was like, "Hey, like, what's going on? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of ate shit, blah, blah, blah." And like, it's not like that really anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's only because it's open mics. I think if I went to a show and people paid money to see me, and I ate some shit,
pressure,
I would feel like that would be really embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's a different ball game. We're talking about like if I went up and did a show again at Portofino with my buddy Sal, or I did some shit like where I like rented a venue and you were there to film it, and I like had done a radio.
Yeah,
that's the other thing I wanted to tell you is that like I'm thinking about doing some shit like that for one of the nights that we film. like putting some shit out like on Facebook, like trying to get people to come to wherever we're filming it at. So that there's a goddamn crowd there. You know what I'm saying? Like doing it proper.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about like, that's the thing. Like if we're going to do a few small ones, then I'm going to sort of need to plan that out a little bit different than if we're just going to do one big like 20-minute one. Because then I'm talking about having to advertise a couple different times and like over a little bit longer of a period of time if it's going to be at the 5 minutes. But if it's just Facebook or Instagram ads for the most part, that's going to be pretty cheap. So that's not really going to matter. That's sort of irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, there has to be.
I'm trying to do some shit like that. So we may even need to make something to do a promo. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Oh yeah.
Like an ad for Facebook or Instagram or something, if we could throw something together with some video for that.
Yeah, that's why you gotta just start filming shit so that you have some stuff to start with to get people to want to come see the thing.
And that's what's going to be beautiful about
make.
that dry run too, right? Like you just come, we film that just to see the venue, to see how the cuts
the logistics
look.
of it,
and then if we can pull something from that for even like a 2-minute YouTube thing, beautiful.
Yeah.
Or like a 30-second Instagram commercial. We could pull some of the things with no audio or whatever, like we were planning on for the commercial before or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be nice just to have the content to be able to see what we can use it for, because I am planning on doing some, like, I'm going to invite family members and stuff even too. Like, I'm going to do what I can to have like 30 people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Minimum.
It's exciting to like think about something to work forward to, you know, like there has to be like stuff along the way. And
then I'll advertise it when we make it. I'm going to advertise that it's made. Like I'm putting this out. I'm not going to put it on YouTube and then say I have a video on YouTube, but like my friends on Facebook. Like I'm going to make this thing, Rob Blake, Sometimes I Say Things. And then I'm going to have a marketing campaign for Rob Blake, Sometimes I Say Things, and with ads after we film it.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing the whole thing. So I may need some things, if you're willing to help me with some of that. Yeah. I may need some things made for that too.
Yeah.
So
no, I need creative video projects outside of work, because I do fun stuff, but I also do some stuff that I just don't do enough stuff that stimulates me. I don't know.
And then I have a couple ideas for a couple characters, but the main one, Chef Rob, who's a really shitty chef. Yeah. And I was just gonna start making some videos on my iPhone, but depending on how character development and like scripts and stuff go, that might be something we could do together too. Some sketches or some like character stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to sketches, you really don't even like need other people necessarily.
It's just like, me doing different people, me doing different characters, and they don't even have to be that drastically acted different. I just need to like be silly and like put on a hat maybe. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's really not that big of a deal for some of those to kind of dick around. And my dad's got this kitchen in this break room at our building, and it's like a cafeteria, we call it. There's like a microwave and shit in there, so I was just gonna use that room. It's like this shitty little like microwave and like a like kind of older oven or whatever, you know. And I was just gonna dick around in there and just be Chef Rob and like teach people how to make Hot Pockets or like yogurt parfaits. Yeah, that's all you got to do for the yogurt parfaits. Like just put this shit in it. You know what I'm saying? From like Meyer or whatever.